I am Mark Stewart, and I want to make sure you feel as empowered as you should. You, by even listening to this, put yourself in the probably top 10% on the civic scale of people your age. You get it. You might be able to act on it. Let me address why people in authority unfortunately don't respond to you at age 18 to 23, and even less when you're under 18. Well, number one, you as a cohort don't vote. Those age 25 and under show by far the lowest percentage of voter turnout election after election. Your forebears 50 and 60 years ago won the right to vote for 18 to 21 years old, okay? But it got enshrined in the early 70s, and it's not being used. We have a constitutional amendment guaranteeing the right to vote for 18 and up. Hardly used among those 18 to 21. So, when the 18 to 25-year-olds have an issue that maybe a politicians can solve, do they? Well, you are least likely to vote, and they who rely on votes to get and stay in power are least likely to pay attention to you compared to those who do vote. Who vote? Old people. The over 75 crowd, they don't have that much else to do anyway. They pay attention to civics, and they darn well do go out and vote to make sure that the civics align as best as possible. Now, here's another reason why the desires of the youngsters don't get enacted. And it's beyond the elected leaders. It goes to bureaucracy. Our bureaucracy constrains government officials from taking on very good ideas. So even when a posse of you, get together and end up with really good, you're convincing a few legislators. Good. But what's the response? You often end up being stymied. They say, but we can't get this through the rest of the legislature. Our colleagues are going to disagree. Or they'd say, there are judicial hurdles that stop this. Provision in this code. We can't get around it for the next 2.5 years. Or there's a liability issue. And they'll say, someone will get sued if we try to do this. We have to put a halt. So it's frustrating. Here's the good news. You with good ideas, and you with just plain needs, not ideas yet, you have something better than government officials. You have economics. You are consumers, you are spenders, you are viewers of things that are good and not viewers of things that are not so good. High school and college students are disproportionate in their say with our commerce. When a 20-year-old student has an invention, it gets press. When students start a business, it is more likely to get funded than when 50-year-olds start a business. That's because you are trendy. You may not feel trendy, but to demographers, you are. To Madison Avenue advertising agencies, you are. And your inventions bring a business promise that those of the 50-year-old can't, because you carry the tide of future sales. Those investors, they're looking for big returns, right? So they find funding the 20-year-old group of innovators to be more promising than the 50-year-old group. So there may be a better place where your concerns take root than government. It is in economics. And if you can put more of your clout into economics instead of government, more and more people are going to go to you. Look, we see how government is almost inept at actually helping people. But more and more, though, we see how business is very good at helping. That devices get created even before a lot of us see the need. Okay, why? Because some innovators see, I think people will like my time-saving thing or my stress-saving thing. So in the marketplace, not government, we get a bevy of good, while in government, we tend to get resistance and restrictions. So I don't have a huge number of solutions for you, but likely somebody listening to this, especially if you start forwarding it, does. Because it's the widespread group, the masses where only one doer needs to take you up on it to get a lot more leverage. A lot better than when a legislature says, yes, I will act on your behalf. Put more trust in your fellows, young especially, who can make a better world for you especially, and the rest of us will follow. I'm Mark Stewart.